Station Houston on 2 for Comrade regarding S1 lower outboard pan and tilt. We would like to see that set to match what is called out in step 3.1. We think you'll get a better view with that pan and tilt setting.
He copies.
Flight controllers just flip the camera to its to get a better view of the station's robotic arm and Cygnus. Again, Cygnus holding at about 30 meters away from the station. You can see the tip of the station's robotic arm there sort of toward the center of your screen. That's where Cygnus is heading next after the go for departing the 30-meter holding point. It'll go just about around the range of 10 meters away from the International Space Station, about 10 or 12. That'll get it into its position almost perfectly, so Paolo Nespoli just has to push the controls forward, and right there you can see the latching end effector will grab the Cygnus vehicle, and right now we're looking at a capture time just around the vicinity of 4 a.m. Central Time. Still, we'll keep you updated if anything changes, but again, 4 a.m. Central Time for that capture time. In the meantime, we'll wait for the call to depart the 30-meter holding point.
And Station on 2, Cygnus is ready to proceed to the capture point. You can expect approach to resume shortly.
Station copies.
So with that confirmation from Capcom Kathy Bolton here in Mission Control Houston, all the flight controllers here are end in Dulles or go to go into its capture position. We'll start seeing the Cygnus start inching slowly towards its capture position just a few meters away from the International Space Station.
Cygnus has resumed approach to the capture point. Monitor approach within 30 meters per step 7 of 1.102. The crew is primed to issue retreat if the pry range is less than 6 meters.
Station copies.
So with that, the departure has begun. Cygnus now inching closer and closer to the International Space Station at a rate of about 0.04 meters per second. It'll be a slow journey, but it'll get there. She was also confirming if it's within 6 meters. That's a little too close for comfort, so the crew members have the ability to issue an abort if something like that happens, but right now shooting for its capture position about 10 or 12 meters away from the International Space Station. So a short loss in communication here. Should be regaining it shortly so we can get some good views of Cygnus.
Is right within the corridor. Size is the same. No offset. And circles, no offset. Camera 3, the same.
We copy, and that's a good report.
So that was Randy Bresnik reporting a quick status update at about the 23-meter mark. Everything on his end looking good, all of the telemetry lining up. As Cygnus makes its slow approach to its capture position, about 10 or 12 meters away from the International Space Station at a rate of about just over 0.03 meters per second. So Cygnus just about to pass the 20-meter mark, heading slowly towards to go right in front of the station's robotic arm. Once in position, it will hold there and allow Paolo Nespoli at the controls of the station's robotic arm in the cupola workstation. Has a good view of all the action happening here right now. He'll use those controls to go ahead and go in for capturing the Cygnus cargo vehicle. Right now the goal is 4 a.m. Central Time for that capture time. Again, we'll keep you updated as that changes. The International Space Station is still 255 statute miles above the Earth, still over the South Atlantic Ocean, about to cross the southern border of South Africa, right at the right where the South Africa meets the South Atlantic Ocean, on a southeasterly course towards the Indian Ocean. You can start seeing the western coast of Namibia and soon South Africa coming up here shortly. Cygnus passing 15 meters away from the International Space Station, now in view of the station, the robotic arm, the camera at the tip of the robotic arm. slowing down the approach rate to about 0.03, now less than 0.03 meters per second as it gets closer to that capture position. Once holding there, we'll go around the room here in Mission Control Houston, do a poll to see if we are go for capture. Paolo Nespoli aboard the International Space Station will use the station's robotic arm. He'll be at the controls there to capture the Cygnus cargo vehicle. Now passing 13 meters away from the station, about 12.5 now. You can see the west coast of South Africa, International Space Station, 257 statute miles above the Earth. Cygnus cargo vehicle just over 12 meters away from that. Station just about to pass over Cape Town, South Africa. Cygnus now right in front of the station's robotic arm. Holding it around 12 meters away from the International Space Station. Awaiting confirmation from ground teams here that it has indeed locked into its capture position. Then we'll poll for the go, no go to capture the Cygnus cargo vehicle today. The International Space Station, 259 statute miles above the Earth, just south off the coast of South Africa, heading on a southeasterly course towards the Indian Ocean.
And station on 2, confirm capture point hold per step 8 and 1.102.
Some copies. Step 8 in work. Primary range 12.04, secondary range 12.06. We do confirm CP hold. HCP lighting. Abort arm illuminated. Retreat arm illuminated. Hold arm illuminated. Free drift arm illuminated. Strobe light on illuminated. We have LiDAR lock, command path, and proximal lights illuminated as well.
And we copy all.
Also verify the grapple fixture is stable within the capture volume. The dot is within the outer corridor of the nested corridors, and there is no limit check violations displayed to us.
Good copy.
Houston Station. We capture conditions are confirmed. We'd like the lighting. Crew's ready for Cygnus capture.
Okay, we copy. Stand by.
Everything looking good from the perspective of the astronauts aboard the International Space Station. Randy Bresnick reporting some good telemetry as the Cygnus vehicle holds at about 12 meters away from the International Space Station. The station's robotic arm in position. Now just going through the room here in Mission Control Houston for the go, no go to proceed with capture.
And Station Houston on 2, go for Cygnus capture sequence. Step 4 of 1.110, Cygnus capture, and begin monitoring the back-away cue card.
Station copies. Step 4.1 in work.
So everything looking good to be go for capture today. The crew on board the International Space Station flipping the switch to take control of the station's robotic arm and start moving it into in towards the Cygnus cargo vehicle for capture today. Looking at a capture time a few minutes past the hour today. We'll be reading off some key points as we close in towards the capture point. Cygnus still holding about 12 meters away from the International Space Station. The crew members, Paolo Nespoli, just...
On 2, commencing approach.
Copy.
Paolo Nespoli just configuring the station's robotic arm to get into position for capture today. Motion confirmed of the station's robotic arm, now closing in on the Cygnus cargo vehicle. Three meters away from capture. 2.5 meters. Now 2 meters away, everything looking good so far. Now over the pin. In the capture envelope. With that, the carriage is driving.